Hi, this is Morley and this is the M-Wire. In this video, we're going to look at how Colin Kaepernick blasts the NFL on its newly found wokeness, and he simply calls it propaganda. Huh? Yeah, I know. Thank you to my new subscribers. I appreciate every one of you. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. That would greatly help out the channel. So here's Colin Kaepernick. Um, a couple years ejected from the NFL. He's the one that started all this wokeness with the kneeling. And now that the NFL is essentially going along with what he wants, he doesn't want it anymore. He calls it essentially political. And the reason he's doing so is because another fellow player of his that started kneeling at the same time that he did has been released by the Carolina Panthers and hasn't been signed by anyone since March. Well, there could be a number of reasons for that, Colin. Yeah, his numbers are good, but maybe he hasn't found the right team or the right team hasn't found him. But that's neither here nor there. So Colin Kaepernick is the only person that I know that I could truly call a professional victim. Do you see his pattern of going to the media for sympathy for everything and anything that he can conceivably think of to further his cause, which I'm not even sure what it is anymore, as now that the league is woke, that's not good enough for him. He wants his friend, his fellow former player, to get an NFL contract, and if he doesn't get one, well, gee, it's the NFL being hypocritical. I mean, this is just there are no words for this anymore. Actually, there just really and truly are no words to accompany this. Let's get into this thing. Former San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick blasted the National Football League on the league's opening Sunday, calling the NFL's new social justice focused propaganda because Eric Reid, one of the first players to support Kaepernick's anti-racism kneeling protest, remains unsigned after being let go by the Carolina Panthers back in March. The NFL announced earlier this year that in wake of the massive anti-racism, anti-police brutality protests that took place in nearly every major city following the death of George Floyd, who died in the custody of Minneapolis Police Department, they would set a weekly social justice priority, embrace Black Lives Matter slogans, and encourages players to take part in demonstrations, service projects, and social justice-focused initiatives. The NFL committed to playing Lift Every Voice, the Black national anthem, before some games during opening week. None of that matters, Kaepernick said Sunday, if Reid, his former teammate and former vocal supporter, remains blacklisted. While the NFL runs propaganda about how they care about black life, they are still actively blackballing Eric Reid for fighting for the black community. Eric set 2 franchise records last year and is one of the best defensive players in the league, Kaepernick tweeted just as many of the NFL Sunday games were kicking off. He played and started all 16 games for the Carolina Panthers last season. He recorded 130 tackles and 4 sacks. He joined the Panthers a few weeks into the 2018 season. He recorded 71 tackles and an interception in that season. Reid was the first player to take part in Kaepernick's kneeling protest, and when Kaepernick remained unsigned following his decision to turn down a 1-year contract extension with the San Francisco 49ers, he co-signed a grievance against the NFL, claiming that Kaepernick and players who supported his social justice efforts were being blacklisted from the league. Kaepernick claimed that the owners were conspiring with each other and even allegedly with Donald Trump to lock him out of playing again in the NFL. The pair eventually settled. Reid went on to play for the Panthers, but Kaepernick went unsigned. He has now been out of the league since 2017 season, and despite efforts on the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell remains out of the league. I would love to see him in the National Football League. I know there's tons of fans who would love to see him in the National Football League, but where Colin sits right now in America is where he's playing football or not. He started a conversation on a national level, Goodell said in an interview last week. He did, however, that Kaepernick isn't currently part of that conversation from within the league. Reed told Deadspin last week that there has been some interest. My agents have been in communications with teams daily, but there have been no developments. Of course, there's no developments. This is the most plastic, fake thing I've ever seen in professional sports. I've been a 49ers fan. Oh, sorry, I was a 49ers fan for over 30 years, but I haven't watched any games so far. I don't even know the score of my 49ers game yesterday, and quite frankly, I don't care. If the NFL wants to go woke like this, I'll have no part of it. And people like Colin Kaepernick, now that he finally gets what he wants, it's not good enough for him, and he wants his fellow former player to play again in the NFL because he decides those things, and Colin Kaepernick just gets whatever he wants. I have no use for the NFL anymore. I'm no longer a fan. I hope you aren't either. Thank you so much for coming along to my video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I want to know what you think about this whole Kaepernick thing. God bless.